Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's Wargame World. All right, everyone, it's election night. And you know what? It's a nightmare with our politics. So watch a Goober video or my channel, Bill's Wargame World or Bill's History World. This is the follow-up to Fallen. We're going to hit early war, 3D printed stuff from Jim Shaw, stuff from Josh. But the most important thing is Toys for Tots raised $11,001 with Sean Reese and all the war gamers there donated. Goober the Traveling Bear helped with all of you watching my channel, $647. And some of that came from the Chuckleheads and also Cotton Jim and a couple other people. So we're going to hit several things on that. The Coliseum, the Great Chariot Race by 5 guys and a lawyer, that raised, I think, over $3,000. So it was just really neat to see everyone. And when you're talking about politics, and you know, Goober and I don't do politics, but everyone there worked together as one team to help those kids. So Goober received a small grant, and we're going to be releasing so much money every couple weeks. And the Braddock Battlefield History Center, which is the site of the Braddock Battlefield, otherwise known as Braddock's Defeat, French-Indian War. We have sent them a Goober, our first Goober donation. Sean there and Matt do great work. They do miniature war games there, board war games, and they have a great museum. It's right in Pittsburgh. Really neat place to go. This weekend, they're actually running a game. I believe it is Saturday. Need to do a plug. I haven't even broke $100 on Goober calendars. And again, these help the Maryland Veterans Museum in La Plata and a lot of great historic sites. Here we have Weiss Fork. Here we have Goober actually giving a Goober check to Sean at the Braddock's Battlefield History Center. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but Fallen was extra special for me. My wife, who has some issues, as you may know, as far as health, was able to come down to Fallen, visited with a lot of people. She met, you know, all kinds of war gamers. I mean, even in the parking lot, Walt O'Hare was talking to her. So I made a big mistake in a previous video about the Martyr. Got to apologize to Josh, the 3D Printer King. This thing was so small, I actually thought it was out of the wrong scale. 100% wrong. Okay, so let me bring this up closer. And we'll pause the camera here. Okay, wow, we got it up closer. This thing was a French tractor to tow anti-tank guns. The Germans threw some armor around it and threw the 75mm pack gun on it. And I took that pack gun and glued it on this half track. And I really like this. So, apologize to Josh. I have 3 options. I could get a new pack gun mounted on this. I could take and paint this up to be a French tractor for my early war games and just use it the way it is to haul, you know, be a prime mover. Or, and let me know out there, Ronald McDonald and all of you, George, I could take this little TMU gun and I can actually fit it in here with no problem. And did the measuring, it would fit perfect. So I could do a short barreled 75 in this thing. All right, so what do? Do we use it as A, a tractor, B, have Josh print a new gun, or C, do a work on the bench thing and throw this baby in there and do a short 75? So that's the idea for that. And I really do like the way this half track came out. Josh, I'm sorry. I apologize again. The 3D Printer King Josh was right and I was wrong. Now, Josh made some really cool armor for me for this early war game that I'll be doing on the table right through the winter here. So let's start off with our French tank. And Josh didn't write down, he didn't tell me what these are. I mean, he told me at Fallen, but I had so much going on. So I'm going to have to look these babies up. So that's our first French tank. Now my next French tank, believe it or not, here it is, along with its tracks. In transportation, we lost its tracks. However, and this was brought up at the convention, E6000. There it is. Now this is the kind premium for plastics. So when I glue the tracks back on this baby, we'll use E6000 and we'll get it looking right back to normal. And Josh painted these. And I really have to say, you know, thank you, Josh, so much for your friendship and everything you did here for me. Well, we all know I have a Belgium Army now. And believe it or not, this is a T something or other. Help me out there. So this is my Belgian tank. This is what's really weird. Josh explained it to me. We have our driver in here. He pops out, actually. I have a gunner somewhere. I guess Josh made him for me. And the turret faces backwards. So it drives into combat, then turns around, and there it is. And it has a machine gun. So we do have one piece of Belgium armor. Now, Ron Snyder, the Pretzel King, Ron Perelman, and the reason people ask me why I call him the Pretzel King, when he was a supervisor for Snyder's and their base was in Hanover near my house in Gettysburg, he would sometimes pull in with the pretzel truck on his way back from the warehouse, and he would bring us in pretzels. Anyhow, we got this tank from him. Wonderful tank, and it's really cool. I tried to make one of these, and it didn't come out the best. So this is my early war German Mark II, I think it is. And this thing is beautiful. Thank you, Ron. So I have to pay Ron for these. Let's see. I think this is a 21st Century Toys. Beautiful vehicle. I mean, high end, and I will not repaint that. I'll keep that mustard gray or mustard color. So this is the armor. My early war armor is coming along. I mean, and then I have some more early war armor in the boxes. And here's the Matilda. So, very happy with all this. Well, we have 3D printed figures. Let's talk about them a little bit. I'm going to stop the camera and move it over a little. Okay, everyone, the 3D printed, this is the rest of my German paratroopers. And I'm putting them on this so you can see them better, and then I'll zoom in on them. So here is our German machine gun team. Look at that. Josh does such great work. Now, I haven't asked Josh, these guys carrying these ammo boxes. We have a couple of them. And there we go. All right. So this is the heavy weapons team. Just incredible. Oh boy. It looks like I have a mortar here of some type. Here's our other machine gunner. Get in closer. There we go. Okay. And we have a rifleman. Another figure carrying ammo. I figure these are for my anti-tank gun team. There's another squad leader. Fantastic. A couple more riflemen. Here's our squad leader. Now, Jim Shaw painted these. The great Jim Shaw of Gettysburg. That figure is smoking a cigarette. I mean, you know, Jim Shaw, I got you a bottle of adult beverage for painting, and I think I should have got you a lot more than I did. So we'll see about Goober using some of his allowance and helping out with that. Now, Josh, if you watch this video, is he carrying a mortar shell? I can't quite tell. I have a mortar, so we can arm them with a mortar. And so that's the heavy weapons team. I'm going to pause the camera and get ready for the next batch of stuff we got from Fall In. All right, everyone, we have a bag of figures here. I got these at Barrage. Jim Shaw painted them for me. Jim Shaw, thank you very much. You got to watch Jim Shaw's wonderful, wonderful videos of how he paints so well. Now, these are really old Marx figures. And when I mean old, they are old. So, we're going to really check them out. These, I bought these from a fella who was at Barrage. And very nice fella. He watches both my channels. And I forgot his name. But if you're out there watching, thank you very much. So, these are all Confederates, of course. And Jim Shaw did such a great job on these. I mean, they're phenomenal. Let me get a close-up here. I mean, just unbelievable. I'm really excited about the cavalry here. I don't have a lot of Confederate cavalry, so this will work great. Here's the bugler. And so these are the old Marx figures. I'm hoping I have a half a dozen horses here in my batches of stuff. And I can get these guys mounted up on some horses. So we still have more to look at. And once again, Jim Shaw, thank you again for painting these. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. All right. We got to pause the camera. What do we have in the next box? Well, let's find out, everyone. Well, before I open this, I want everyone to know I appreciate all of you that watch both my channels, Bill's History World and Bill's Wargame World. The Wargame channel now for Monetized, we are going to be donating that December 25th to the Civil War Trails people. And for you in Europe, Civil War Trails, they make signs that they place along the roadside for you to know there was a battle somewhere. Normally, it's a small location of some type. But we'll move on to Figure World. So, these are MPC Zulus. James Curtis of the Old Dominion Wargaming Group, way down in near Virginia Beach, Williamsburg. He gifted these to Goober. Then Jim Shaw took them and did his magic with them. All right, so this is the last batch of Zulus for the Isan Luana game. I had some people ask about the Isan Luana game, and all I'm going to say is it didn't go off at the school. Okay, and we're going to leave it at that. So, what a wonderful batch of Zulus. I have a lot here to work on. The number one thing I think, though, will be to get the German paratrooper platoon set up, glued to poker chips and flocked. I can right away start playing. Now, I had a few people write to me And of course, I get all kinds of stuff. And I do know in the maps, when I looked it up, our game here for Eben O'Neill, we'll just mention this. One, where the fort is, there was no bridge for the canal. But in Bill's world, we're going to have a bridge for the canal. And then where the fort is. The next thing is, and follow me everyone, I hope you like my crazy videos. Life is short, just laugh. So, believe it or not, I've had so many different people write to me to have the figures off table, written down what's on each fort or in each fort. And then I've had the equal amount saying leave them on the table so we can see it, other than you're just shooting at some piece of fortification. So, I'm probably going to do another poll. I had some very famous wargamers, including Buck Sudrew of the Hawks and famous wargame designer of wargame rules, Gaslight and Close Combat, Combat Patrol, the card system without dice. So, give me your input. I have these beautifully painted figures by Jim Shaw, beautifully 3D figures made by Josh, and I'm really thinking we need to have them on the table. That's really how I'm starting to lean. So I'm going to ask you all for your opinions. I'm going to pause the camera here, get ready for a closeout. Okay, everyone, I'm going to be out of town for the next several days. I will be trying to make a couple videos on my history channel because I will be in the Shenandoah Valley. If you Google Goober Calendar, just Google that, it comes up. If you're a history site, a museum or a nonprofit, contact me. I'll give you the code if you want to order some for your gift shop or a couple for your offices, and it knocks 40% off. And I mean, they're only $15 now, and you got to remember, these are to help a really neat museum in La Plata, Maryland, Newburgh, Maryland, the Maryland Veterans Museum. Another week or two, Goober will be sending out another donation check to a small museum, a historic site that supports wargaming or my board games or something to do with our hobby, and a small museum. We're not helping out anything super big. We're trying to help the little guys because Goober is little. Come on, that made somebody out there laugh. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and Wednesday, Thursday of November 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, try to be happy, whoever wins this election, and just move on. Life is just too short. Thank you, everyone.